If you or a family member is struggling with diabetes, you've certainly heard this advice: eat less sugar, exercise more. You followed it. You gave up sweets, cut rice in half, walked 10,000 steps every day. But your blood sugar still fluctuates like a roller coaster, never stabilizing. Have you ever asked yourself in the middle of the night, what am I doing wrong? Have you ever looked at your blood sugar reading and felt a deep sense of helplessness? You are not alone. Countless people with diabetes are experiencing the same confusion. Some say, I've stopped eating sweets, so why is my fasting blood sugar still high? Some say, I exercise every day and I've lost weight, so why am I taking more medication? Some say, I've tried everything. I'm exhausted. These voices echo every day in hospital diabetes clinics. In 2025, a major study followed 1,456 people with prediabetes for nearly 6 years and delivered a completely different answer. The answer is not sugar, it's an internal rusting process happening inside your body. In 1980, the diabetes rate among Chinese adults was less than 1%. Back then, people ate whole grains, and red meat was rarely on the table. By 2023, according to the latest data released by the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the diabetes prevalence had risen to 15.88%. More than 233 million people have diabetes, that means 1 in every 6 to 7 adults. Over these 4 decades, red meat has become more common, while white rice and white flour have become the absolute staples. Have you ever wondered why people in the past rarely got diabetes? It wasn't because they avoided sugar, it was because they had the right mineral balance. In April 2025, the TLGS research team published a landmark paper in BMC Nutrition. They followed 1,456 people with prediabetes for nearly 6 years. The researchers didn't just look at how much sugar they ate, they analyzed the mineral composition of their diets. Iron, manganese, zinc, selenium, things you never pay attention to. The results revealed 3 distinct mineral patterns. The first was a multimineral pattern, the second a chromium-selenium pattern. The most critical was the third, the iron-manganese pattern. Simply put, people whose diets were higher in iron and lower in manganese fell into the high-risk category. Those with balanced iron and manganese were 42% more likely to return to normal blood sugar. They were also 33% less likely to progress to full type 2 diabetes. These results held even after adjusting for age, weight, physical activity, and other factors. In other words, iron-manganese balance itself is an independent key factor. You might ask, why have I never heard of this? Because this isn't what drug sellers tell you, and it isn't written on your lab report. But it's hidden in every bite of red meat and every bowl of white rice. Why is iron-manganese balance so important? If you leave a hammer out in the rain, what happens? It rusts. The iron in your body works the same way. Excess iron, especially heme iron from red meat, triggers the Fenton reaction, producing massive amounts of free radicals. These free radicals act like tiny sparks, burning the beta cells in your pancreas that produce insulin. Studies show that high iron levels can reduce insulin secretion by more than 64%. Do you ever feel like your body is burning from the inside? That's not just feeling hot, that's iron rusting. What about manganese? Manganese is a core component of the MNSOD enzyme. This enzyme acts like a firefighter, clearing away the free radicals produced by iron. But here's the problem: white rice and white flour lose 80% to 90% of their manganese during processing. The more refined your diet, the less manganese you get. Too much iron creates rust. Too little manganese means no one clears it away. High iron plus low manganese equals continuous rusting with no cleanup. Beta cells corrode. Blood sugar rises. Do you ever experience both burning heat and widespread pain at the same time? The heat comes from free radicals generated by iron. The pain comes from calcium-magnesium imbalance and nerve damage. This is why many people with diabetes feel these two contradictory sensations together. Who is most at risk of falling into this trap? People who eat large amounts of red meat, beef, pork, lamb, several times a week. People whose staple foods are almost exclusively white rice and white flour, rice, noodles, bread, meal after meal. People who rarely eat buckwheat, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds, these are the richest sources of manganese. Many individuals with prediabetes unknowingly fall into this pattern. High red meat intake plus a refined grain diet equals the high iron, low manganese combination linked to higher risk. So what can you do? The solution is simple. First, eat less red meat. Beef, pork, lamb, at most once or twice a week. You can replace some red meat with fish, chicken, or plant-based proteins like beans and tofu. Second, eat less refined white rice and white flour. Replace some of your staples with buckwheat, brown rice, or whole grains. Buckwheat is a natural manganese reservoir and is gluten-free. There's another food with the highest manganese density, you might not expect this one. Cloves. Yes, the spice used in braised meat. Cloves contain dozens of times more manganese than most common foods. Third, eat more manganese-rich foods. Dark leafy greens, such as spinach and kale. Nuts and seeds, such as sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, and almonds. Whole grains, such as oats, brown rice, and quinoa. These are all excellent sources of manganese. This is not about starvation or extreme dieting. It's about shifting the direction of your diet, from feeding the rust to building balance. Food has direction. Every meal either feeds the rust or protects your body. You don't need to change all your habits overnight. Start with one simple swap. Tonight, replace white rice with buckwheat. Start with one small reduction. Today, eat half as much meat as you usually do. Your body will respond. Diabetes is not about sugar. The root cause is an internal rusting process driven by iron-manganese imbalance. Data source: Zhou YC, Lu JM, Zhao ZP, Zhou MG, Ing M. The National and Provincial Prevalence and Non-Fatal Burdens of Diabetes in China from 2005 to 2023 with projections of prevalence to 2050. Military Medical Research. 2025, 12/128. DOI, https://doi.org/10.1186/40779-025-00615-1. Iron-Manganese Study Source: Dietary mineral patterns are associated with prediabetes regression and progression, the Tehran Lipid and Glucose Study. BMC Nutrition. 2025, 11:57. DOI, https://doi.org/10.1186/S40795-025-01047-9.